What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 88. We are back at it again. Um, we got some big things coming as playoff hockey is around the corner this Sunday. Our Toronto Blue Jays will be facing off the Ottawa Senators in the Battle
Toronto
of
Maple Leafs.
Ontario.
Maple Leafs. Said
Toronto
Blue
Maple
Jays.
Leafs will be facing off,
Yeah.
scratch that. Toronto Maple Leafs will be facing the Ottawa Senators in the Battle of Ontario in the first round of the NHL playoffs. This is the first time this has happened in close to 20 years. So
Yeah.
very, very exciting. This is going to be a fun series to watch, something we are not used to. Like, we're used to Boston, Florida, or Tampa, who we are facing in the first round, and this is it, man. This is going to be really exciting. This is going to be a lot of fun. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit of Blue Jays. Let's get into it with the Blue Jays right now. Right now, they're 11-8, tied for first place in their division, along with the Yankees. The Blue Jays have been playing well. 3-2 in their last 5 games against the Orioles and the Atlanta Braves. They faced the Braves over this past week from Monday through Wednesday, and they had a good series. They had a very good series, winning 2-1 against them. Again, they're not a good team. They're missing Acuna. They're missing Marcelo uh, Ozuna from the Braves, and so we kind of lucked out in that sense because I still think they're going to be a good team, but Blue Jays managed to have a great game again, great couple of games against the Braves, and then a good game against the Orioles. Let's talk about that Orioles series first. It was first off, the Orioles need to get a roof or something because the amount of rainouts that they have is just
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous, bro. It's like it's a liability. It's almost more rain than the Blue Jays get. Like the Blue Jays could play in the weather. The reason it is, it's just it's so cold in Canada. Like we all know this. It's just cold and
Yeah.
like there's lots of snow that you got to always deal with. However, I mean, you go to Minnesota, it's probably worse because Minnesota's actually like, or Minneapolis is actually more north than Toronto is, just in location wise. So, and along with the Orioles, they're like right on the water too. I don't know why they don't have uh, a a roof because it is so goddamn cold and such terrible weather there constantly, where it's always raining all the time. But yeah, that's one thing those cheap ass motherfuckers got to invest in is a roof because they're just missing out games. But it was a 2 game series. You know, you got the split, which was important. Uh, a couple things. I don't know how they won that last game against the Orioles. I don't know if you got to watch it, but they played like shit. Nathan
Yeah.
Lucas had one of the worst plays, trying to advance, getting picked off at second and then running into an out third. You know, you're trying to take the lead. You just can't be making those base running mistakes. It was embarrassing. Um, However, they got the win. He came up with the big catch in the end. But yeah, again, even the first game they should have won. Vladdy made an error. It's just sloppy baseball all around, to tell you the truth. Like there's just a bunch of sloppy plays. You know, runners in scoring position constantly and just finding ways to get outs, which was really unfortunate. But they got to win, and you take those wins any day you can, and so I'm happy with that. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was Anthony Santander hits his first home run as a Blue Jay against the Orioles of all teams. I should have put money on that. Like that's the most obvious like cash out ever. Like hitting a home run against his former team in the first game he faces at home, back at home. Yeah. So anyway, I was definitely happy to see the way that game panned out. Yeah, the Blue Jays ended up going 1-1. It's good to see. Let's hope it keeps rolling. Just keep on going in a positive direction. Yeah, and then the other guy I got to mention is Jeff Hoffman, who right now, along with Jimmy Garcia, got to be one of the best, you know, duos, back end rotation duos in the league right now. You got Jeff Hoffman, who's already got 10 innings on the books right now with the 1.74 ERA. Um, Jimmy Garcia, 0 ERA,
Zero.
zero. Yeah, not a single run. Brendan Little, 3 ERA. Chad Green, 3.24 ERA. Nick Sandlin, 2.57 ERA. Um,
The bullpen is rocking, dude. It is rocking right now.
yeah, we've been very, very lucky to see what this bullpen has done for us. I am very, very impressed with how the bullpen has been playing. It's just they're on a roll. I think they're going to be good for a long time. I mean, they're just advanced numbers are really, really good too. It's not like you look at them and they're just like, oh, it's luck. You know, the expected batting average on almost all of their pitches is like 150 average or below. So Jeff Hoffman, like his fastball, a changeup, a splitter, a fastball, and um and a slider. And those are his main four pitches that he uses. And for a reliever, you don't usually have that many pitches, but since he was a starter before, he finds a way to just be able to use all those pitches. And so that's what makes him so good is he's just filling up the strike zone. And I feel so much more comfortable with him in the closing position than Jordan Romano, even though it still is early in the season. But it just something about Jeff Hoffman is he just he closes out the game and he knows how to get batters out and he fills up the strike zone. He's more than just a two pitch pitcher like Romano, who's, if one pitch didn't work, he's relying on the slider and it just looks like crap. So all I'll say is Jeff Hoffman, absolute dog on the mound. He's a closer for a reason. You want him in the closing position because it makes sense that he's there. Jimmy Garcia up in the eighth inning guy is just perfect. And going down the line like Nick Sandlin, they call him the Sandman apparently. Chad Green, Brendan Little, like all these guys are really really valuable to the team. And yeah, it's definitely exciting to watch. It's fun to watch. And even the starting rotation has been awesome as well. Kevin Gausman, 2.49 ERA right now. And then Jose Barrios, right now he's at a 5.16. That's going to go down. He's had multiple good starts.
Mhm.
I'm not worried about him. It's just a couple of stinkers that inflates the ERA like the first start of the season. Bowden Francis been great too, 3.7 ERA. Um, and Easton Lucas is going to be reliable. He's going to be helpful in that replacement for Max Scherzer. But yeah, but Chris Bassett, right now, he has a .77 ERA, leading the entire MLB starting pitchers, qualified starting pitchers, and ERA. WAR,
And War too.
yeah, and then his ERA plus 517. That's going to go down at some point, but still, he has been lights out for this team. Um, can't ask for too much more from him. Like I think he's got 2 more weeks. He's got like 2 more weeks of April in the month of April. I am going to put my money that he wins the MLB pitcher of the month. So that's my belief for him because he's just been an absolute dog out there. So good on him.
Yeah, if he keeps it up, yeah, he'll definitely be up there for sure. He's playing great.
Mhm. And then
No bad things for him.
especially his last outing with the where he had 31, he's got 31 strikeouts on the season, 10 strikeouts in the last game he played against the Braves. He's just a dog, man. He's the Bassett. He's the Bassett Hound. Like he's the hound on the mound. That's what is going on. So he's so sick. So and of course he's like 36 years old. So just keep doing what he's doing, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun this season. That's for sure. But yeah. Um, anything else you have to add about the Blue Jays?
No, man. It was nice to see Vlad get his home run yesterday, his first one
Yep.
of the season. That was nice to see. Um, I wish I almost got the prediction done for this week. I said 4-2. Uh, but that rain game kind of screwed it over. But yeah, the Jays are playing consistent. They're winning series. When they're playing division rivals like Baltimore, who are on paper the better team. We're definitely keeping up with them, which is nice to see. And, I think for later on in the season, that's a good sign when we need to win games. So yeah, yeah, as long as they keep playing like this is a good sign. They
Yeah,
keep
no,
consistent.
definitely.
It's good.
I can wholeheartedly agree with that. They've got a good team. Let's just hope it stays this way, continues. Um, yeah, can't say anything
Let's
else.
uh let's yeah, let's talk about the next 5 games coming up, or next six, I think, by the time we come back to film another pod. They got the Mariners for 3 games here in Toronto, and then they go on the road against Houston for 3 games. So what are we thinking here, predictions wise?
I am gonna go. I'm gonna say 3-3.
Okay.
I say they win one series, win lose or lose one other, and then go 3-3. So I think they'll
Okay.
probably. I think they're gonna win the series against Seattle. They'll go 2-1, and then the series against um uh Houston, they're gonna lose 1-2.
Okay.
I just
I'll
think.
say I'll say that too. I think they'll go 3-3. Um, I think they'll actually lose the series to Seattle and then win against Houston. I don't know. I think that left field porch in Houston is calling Vladdy's name. I think he's going to get a few over there.
You think?
I think so. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think Santander will get a couple as well in that series.
Let's hope so. I'd love that. I would
Yeah.
love
Houston,
that.
Houston's kind of. I wouldn't say they're struggling, but they definitely have lost their fastball a bit in terms of losing a couple of guys, but they're always still up there. They got Altuve playing left field, so that's a problem.
Yeah, they're just a notorious kind of slow starting team. Like that's just the way they've
I
been.
remember they
But
were complete garbage last season at the beginning of the year. Like they
yeah,
got
they
swept a
were.
couple times.
But and then they ended up coming through and they made the
Winning
playoffs.
the
They didn't do
division,
well,
winning the
but
division. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they didn't win they did win the division. Of course they did. Yeah. But
That
they,
division is weird, man. I don't know
yeah,
what's going on.
but they've got an interesting team. Like Hunter Brown's been really good. They've just had a lot of rookies coming up, and so that's kind of who their team is. Like Jake Myers has been decent for them. Josh Hader's been lights out. Um, Jeremy Pena, I guess he's been good. I guess he's been good defensively. And then Isak Paredes has been another guy um, who's been also good for them. But like yeah, in
I've always
terms of
wondered
like,
that. Why do they call him Isaac? Why is not Isaac?
well, he's also Spanish, so that's probably
Is that
part
how
of
they
it.
say? Is that how they say Isaac in
It's like
uh
you don't
in
call
Latina
some
countries?
guy who's from like Dominican Jesus. You call him Jesus. You know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just Isaac sounds a little weird. That's all.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're saying 3-3, which is respectable. Seattle and Houston are two stingy teams, so
yeah,
I could definitely see
they're
that
they're yeah
being a
they're
win
not
and a
bad. You, you
loss.
you gotta look at them and be like, okay, they are a good team. Like I might you know what, I might flip the script and say they go 3-3 and win the series against Houston instead because
Right.
I actually look at this team and I just see players like I look at Seattle and I see players like Randy Arozarena and Julio and JP Crawford and Jorge Polanco, like Cal Raleigh, those guys. And I go, holy shit, these guys are fucking scary. Like I just don't I like
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely scary.
and yeah, like especially Cal Raleigh already has 7 home runs on the season. Like holy shit. Like J Rod has been good. He's in terms of like home runs, he's got three already, but 188 or 188 batting average. Um yeah, like I don't know. It's hard to say what I think of this team. They have so many like they have more they're a team with like so many what's the word? Just like um bench players, like good, really good bench players over like actual starting players. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got good
Anyway,
depth. They got good depth.
yeah,
So,
it's interesting. Yeah,
I have a quick question. Have you been to any Jays games this year so far?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I
We
have
have to
not.
get to one soon because we have, remember that challenge from last year where
I
we did the
remember.
guess the
Yes, yes,
games.
yes.
You still have to pay for my Blue Jays experience. So we have that in the back pocket. But we have a speaking of Jays, me and Ryan tonight are going to a fun with Scott what's
Belford.
his name? Walk up Scott Belford walk off pod to his little get together in Toronto. So we're excited for that. Um to
Yeah,
go with
it's gonna
them
be
and
a lot of fun.
talk to other people in the sports Blue Jays podcasting
World.
community with us. So it'd be fun to talk to other people. Maybe potentially see some new guests on this pod for throughout the season. So it'll be a lot of fun to talk to
Yeah,
those guys.
definitely will be. Yeah,
And
the
Blue Jays Today too is also going to be there, I think. Blue Jays Today podcast. I think those guys are going to be there too, which would be fun. So,
yeah, man. There's a lot of good things coming. The other thing I was just gonna mention about the Mariners though that I am scared is they're starting pitching. They've got
oh yeah, they're always very good at pitching. I
yeah,
think
so
that's a danger.
Brian Wu and Luis Castillo. See how that goes. They're missing George Kirby, so oh wait, never mind. Sorry. Emerson Hancock's facing the Reds today. So it'll be Brian Wu, um, Luis Castillo, and then TB to be announced on April 20th. But I don't know if I'll be
Probably
watching that
Logan
game
Gilbert.
because actually no, I will. But I was gonna say the game that I'm gonna be most excited for is Leafs game one, and that will bring us right into our discussion of the Leafs. We got some big things to be talking about here as man, look at this season overall this year, 51 and 26 and 4. That's really good, man.
Yeah, I don't. I'd say. Well, yeah, we'll just recap the last couple games that we missed. Since we talked,
Uh-oh.
that was weird. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So back on the Leafs. Since we last talked, the Leafs have been playing really good. I think we talked about the Tampa game that they won in overtime. I believe so, or did we not?
Not
I
sure.
think we did. I think we did. Let's talk about the Montreal game. A lot of fun. That was probably the most fun 1-0 hockey games I've ever watched. I was actually in Montreal this week, which funny enough, those guys made the playoffs, which was cool to see, but also made me mad because I'm Montreal. Um, but on the way to Montreal, I was watching the Montreal Leafs game. Probably the most fun I've ever watched in terms of a 1-0 hockey game. It was a lot of fun, a lot of action. Montreal definitely wanted it, but the Leafs are just a better team. Uh, Marner with that overtime winner was great. Uh, Stolar's playing out of his mind, another shutout. He's playing really good. Great to see that too. Nothing much to say, great defense. Just a little, missing some chances. But the Domesh, I think the backup for Montreal, he played a really good game. Uh, he had a really good game that day, so good for them. Um, yeah, Marner from Nylander and Tavares that game, a lot of fun. And then we go to the game against Carolina, which on Sunday, I wasn't really paying attention too much to that because I had things going on that day in Montreal, but and also the Masters, which I'll talk about after our Leafs discussion.
Oh,
But it was a great game. Great game. Matthews with a great goal from that Riley assist. That was a great little 1-2 there. Um, Nylander, Tavares again. Holmberg scored in the first period. The boys were buzzing, man. The boys are playing really good. That kind of sealed their division win that game. So that was fun. Being a team like Carolina who's going into the playoffs as well. I think that was kind of like a nothing game for them because they already knew who they were playing a week ago. So it wasn't like, they were looking for a playoff spot like Montreal was, but Leafs are playing confident. Wall had a great game too, only allowed the one goal in the third period. Uh, I'm pretty sure the Carolina had more shots than them that game. The defense has been stunning the past week. Yeah, yeah, 26 saves for Wall. 25 saves, sorry. 25 saves for Wall that game. Both goaltenders are playing fantastic right now. You can't deny that. And then we go to Tuesday when they played Buffalo, which sealed the division for the boys. Another shutout for Stolars. Uh, Lorentz scored a nice goal in the first period, and then the boys just cleaned up at the end. Marner scored a great goal to get his 100th point, which congrats to him. He's been so close throughout the years. He had 99 2 years ago. He had 97 last year, I think. Um, he had 85 last year. He had 99 2 years ago, 97 the year before. Um, yeah, it's good to see from him. Matthew scored his 400th goal, the empty netter, which was nice to see. Congrats to him. And then Robinson cleaned it up at the end. But all in all, like Stolar's another shutout, back-to-back shutouts for him. He's playing the best hockey I think he's played all year. Um, yeah, nothing bad to say about this team right now. They're playing great.
Also, Mitch Marner, 100 point season, first of his career. Very, very good very cool, man. Very good for him.
Yes, very cool. Um, so yeah, and then they play Detroit today, but I doubt many of the guys will be playing a lot. I'm sure a lot of AHL guys will be brought up. I'm not sure if anyone's resting. Maybe a couple, like I'm sure Marner or um, Matthews, like the big guys, are probably might be resting. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't get any notifications today about that. Um, but But yeah, like we just hope the guys who are injured, like McCabe and Ekman Larson, they come back healthy for Sunday, which is game one. Camp as well has kind of had issues with injuries. So hopefully those guys can come back in time for Sunday. I'm sure they will. They've been off for a bit. Um, but yeah, let's hope those guys come back healthy and we can have our A game and best guys out on the ice on Sunday. So now
Yeah.
let's go into our playoff predictions. We'll leave the Leafs Sens series for last, but we'll just go quickly through each matchup that's going on in the NHL. So there's some pretty good ones, but there's some kind of stale, not really anything interesting, not anything to write home about. But let's start with the Western Conference. I'll just list them off, talk like 30 seconds each about what we think. Let's go Winnipeg against St. Louis. So I'll start it off here.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, they're the President's Trophy winners this year. Playing really good. Hellebuck's probably going to win the Vezina. St. Louis is kind of like the opposite. They were struggling at the end of after the before the Four Nations break, and then they came back and just stormed and just won a bunch of games. Jim Montgomery, who was on the Bruins at the beginning of the year, he's now their coach, and he's got them going. Um, I think St. Louis looks really good right now, but I think Winnipeg is probably the best they've ever been, especially with Hellebuck. Hellebuck's playing really good hockey, so I'm gonna have the Jets in that series. But I think it'll go. I think it'll go six. I don't think it'll go. Um, I don't think it'll be a sweep. I think the St. Louis will win a couple.
All right. I have the complete opposite. I have St. Louis winning 4-2 over
Hmm.
Winnipeg Jets. Um,
Okay.
from what my friends have told me, who are much more knowledgeable, Hellebuck is a fraud, and
Oh.
he's not as
Okay.
good as
So you're doubting my knowledge of Jets hockey? Is that
yeah.
what you're saying? Damn. Okay.
I believe that the St. Louis will win 4-2 in this series. I mean, you look at the past history of the Jets, and it's just not good in the playoffs. They just have not had success in the last few years. And they've been great in
Yeah.
the last few years in the regular season. Like last year, 52 wins, year before that, 46, and made the playoffs. But last year lost 4-1 against Colorado, and this
Yeah, they
year
got destroyed by Colorado last year. That was
Yeah.
a bad series.
And I'm thinking it's going to be the exact same thing. Um, that happens again, unfortunately for them. But
Okay.
it's pretty cool to see five Canadian teams, though. That's the one thing I'll just say. Five Canadian teams in the
Yes. I
playoffs.
love that. I love that. It could have been six if Calgary was almost in. They almost had a chance to get in, but Vancouver surprisingly didn't make it. I thought they'd be pushing. They had a great year last year. I thought they'd still be in the hunt, but they kind of fell off a bit this year. But it's great. Five teams, especially teams like Ottawa and Montreal, who we didn't think would, make it. It was nice to see them squeeze in there. Let's go to Stars against the Avalanche. I'm very excited about this series. This is probably my second favorite, um, second series that I'll be paying attention to most in the first round because both teams deserve to be, I think, in the second or third round because they're both powerhouses. Um, I'm gonna take the underdog pick here, and I'm gonna pick the Avalanche. Uh, I think they just have. It's hard to pick because both teams are really good in the playoffs and in the regular season. But I just think Colorado has McKinnon, who's playing really good. Makar is probably going to win the Norris this year. Um, the Stars did pick up a lot of people for the playoffs. Like they got Rantanen and
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah, and Ottinger. Rantanen playing against his former team, which will be fun to see. I mean, it'll be fun. It's definitely going at least six. There's no way anyone's getting swept or going five. This is going to be probably the closest series out of all the eight. Um, but I think Avalanche just squeezes it out. I think they win.
My prediction, kind of similar to yours, but different team. I think Dallas wins this series 4-3 against
Okay.
Colorado. Again, they've always been just a team that has a ton of depth to them. But again, I think Dallas is just slightly better. They've just got better players on the team. Again, Rantanen, new acquisition. I think he goes off against his former team, who traded him away. He knew he was going to get traded, I'm sure, but that's besides the point. Um, I think, yeah, Dallas wins 4-3, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would have went either way. I think it's probably the closest out of the series in the first round. And then let's go to the Pacific Division. Let's go Vegas against Minnesota in the first round. I think Vegas wins this by I think Vegas either sweeps or wins in five. It's not gonna be a fun series to watch. This is probably the least interested series I will be interested in because
Uh,
Vegas is so boring. Minnesota is boring. Like I don't really care much about these two teams at all. But Vegas is just so strong. Um, they have a few guys coming back from injury, I think. Vegas wins they either sweep them or they win in five. It's not going to be close, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Um, I feel that, yeah, mine was similar to yours. Vegas over Minnesota 4-1. That was what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much to discuss there.
Mhm.
This will be a fun one again. Fourth straight year, Kings versus Oilers. I think this year though, it's a little bit different. Los Angeles has a stronger team than they've had in the past. Goaltending is definitely better than they've had in the past. The Oilers have stayed the same in terms of defense and goaltending. They haven't really improved that. Uh, I think I'm gonna still. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go against Edmonton. I think they lose. I'm gonna go Los Angeles, but it'll be close. It'll be six or seven. Um,
Oh,
I think LA definitely stronger than they were in past years. Quinton Byfield is one of my favorite players right now. Like he makes some insane plays on the ice. Fiala, I really like.
bro,
I
from my
think I think
hometown,
Doughty.
bro.
Yeah, I like Doughty a lot. I like LA's team. I like their vibe. Um, I do hope McDavid. I do hope they win, but I just think the LA got stronger and Edmonton stayed the same. So I think LA takes it, and they've lost the last 3 years against them. I'm sure LA wants to beat them. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, yeah, that's a tough one. Looking at, I still feel. Unfortunately, I think that Oilers win. I think they've got some. I think they've got some revenge in their in their team that goes along with them after last season. I think they're going to come out actually. I feel like you've seen so many times where a team um is lost the finals or the World Series or whatever, and then come back the next year and actually finish the job. I think that Oilers. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they're going to still be not really skip a beat. That's what I think is
Okay.
what's going to happen. So I think Oilers win 4-2 against
Okay.
the Kings.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to the Eastern Conference. I think, okay, this is probably the other boring series that I couldn't
I know
really care
what
about.
you're going to say already.
Carolina against New
Yeah.
Jersey. Devils, like they have been the most inconsistent, most boring playoff team I think I have ever seen. And I think Frank the Tank could agree with me on that because he has hated this New Jersey team as well. It's like the games that they play with the Leafs, it's just not fun to watch, really. Like Jack Hughes is not going to be playing. He's out for the rest of the year. It's like the Devils are so boring. Carolina has been boring. Like they don't have any excite. Like Rantanen's gone. Like after being with them for a little bit, I could not care less about this series at all. Whoever loses this series, I think is either going to lose to Washington or Montreal. Whoever wins that series. Um, but I'll go with Carolina because they're home. That's the only reason I'm picking Carolina because I couldn't really care less about this series at all. I think Carolina probably beats them in five. Like it's not going to be close at all. I think Carolina wins. New Jersey is just so boring. Sheldon Keefe is not a playoff coach, as we've seen as Leaf fans. So yeah, I'm taking Carolina.
Um, my pick. I have the uh Devils sweeping Carolina in 4-game set.
What the heck?
I'm kidding. I'm
Holy.
kidding. I'm
Okay,
kidding.
okay. I was
I'm
gonna
kidding.
say.
No, no, no. Not even close. I have Carolina winning 4-1. That was my prediction.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, yeah, they've been not a playoff team since like December. Like they have been just terrible. And I get all my updates from, of course, Frank the Tank on how they're doing. I think he thinks if you watch his videos, you would think they are like dead last in the division. However, they are actually in the playoffs. But still, they haven't been good.
The Devils have been third in their division for like a good 5 months. Like they have not moved anywhere. It's
Yeah.
because their division has been so mid this year. Like the Islanders haven't been good. The Rangers have not been good. Like they just don't have any good teams like other than Washington, really, um, who have been surprising. So
Yeah,
like
the
it's
Devils,
not a fun series to watch.
the other thing about the Devils is like I genuinely think that like Keith Pat when with it was like taking out like a fungus or a parasite out of off of you and then throwing it over to the Devils. Like that's what I think Keep is like the equivalent of. It's like in you know what I think of it? It's like in Spider-Man 3 where Peter takes off the symbiote and it goes down to Eddie Brock. And then Eddie Brock is the New Jersey Devils. But instead of like them being the exact same, the Devils are just like so much fucking worse at even though
Yeah.
like they're just like this kind of reminds me of the team that was last year. The Leafs were they're pretty mid last year. Like there's just like inconsistent and like
Yeah.
you had that awesome Austin Matthews season last year, but as soon
That's
as they
kind of
got
where that hype. That's where the hype was for that team. Was that
Mhm.
Matthews was really close to breaking 70, like getting 70 goals. That's why, like we thought that the Leafs might beat Boston, but they were down 3-1. The Leafs were down 3-1, and then the Leafs won a game in overtime in Game 5, and then barely beat Boston in Game 6. So it wasn't like the Leafs didn't really deserve to be in that series. So I think you're definitely right about the Keefe being the symbiote of the NHL, 100%. Like this series is not going to be fun to watch, but let's continue on. Now, this is going to be a fun one. The Capitals against the Habs. This kind of reminds me of the first year the Leafs made the playoffs in the Austin Matthews era, where they were, exciting. Last game of the season basically made it in the second wild card team, and they play, experienced Capitals team with Ovechkin. Um, Very similar to that year. I think the Habs will win a couple games, but I think the Capitals are just too experienced. They have they played too many games over Montreal. You know what? I think it'll go six, but I do think the Caps will win. Um, I think that the Habs will excite I think they'll win the first game, honestly. I think the Habs will win the first game, and then the Caps will kind of realize, oh shit, these guys aren't that bad. And then they'll just, take over some games. I think Ovi will have a big series. Um, yeah, but I think Washington will definitely win.
Fair enough. Um, I feel I am going to say, yeah, Washington 4-1 against Montreal. I think
Okay.
you know what could even happen? Montreal wins the first game, similar to kind of how you were thinking, and then Washington just like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll win like they'll win like an OT game or something. And then
Washington's very
they'll and
good.
then
They're an
and then
experienced team. They've won the cup. They know how to win in the playoffs too. Like they've been good in the playoffs.
You know
Yeah.
what I really like? I've watched a lot of videos since like Ovi broke the goal record. I've seen their coach. Their coach is really good. I really like their coach. I forget the name, forget his name, but
Spencer
he's really
Carberry.
yeah. I like Carberry a lot. He's a really nice coach. So, I think he's got those boys locked in. Tom Wilson is definitely that's a playoff player if I've ever seen one. Tom Wilson. He can punch you in the face and he can score 3 goals on
He had
you.
a really
Like the
good season
guy.
this year too.
Yeah, he played really well this year. So I think he'll have a nice playoffs. Um, yeah, so we both got caps there. Another series that I'll somewhat pay close attention to is Battle Florida, Tampa versus Florida. Um, I think this will be very close. I don't think anyone's going to get swept here. I think this will at least go 6 or 7. But I do have Florida. I have Florida winning. Both these teams are very good. Uh, Probably another similar to the Stars and Avs series, where like both these teams could easily be in the second or third round if they had different situations. But I think Florida, obviously, who won the cup last year, Kachuk's coming back for the playoffs off that stupid LTIR cap space bullshit that needs to be fixed by Bettman, but he probably won't because he doesn't care because he loves Florida making it to the final every year or Vegas making it to the final. He loves that shit, so that won't be fixed. But, they got Marchand now, who's one of the best playoff performers of our generation. Bobrovsky's playing really good. Florida's just built to beat everyone in the playoffs. So I'm not surprised that if I'll be surprised if Tampa uh wins this series. Tampa's very good. Like I'm not bashing Tampa at all. I just think Florida is just a superior team in terms of playoffs and Florida just picked up Seth Jones and the trade deadline, who I think is really good, sound defensively, and on offense too. Yeah, I don't see why uh Florida loses that. But I think it'll go 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's hard for I'm like I was so stuck on this series. I have either it going 4-3 win for Florida or 4-3 win for Tampa. Because I look at Tampa's team and they have just so many fucking like stars on their team, just like really,
Right.
really good all around players. They're similar to the Leafs in that regard. It was where they're very top heavy. I think this season though, the Leafs are more a little I think they're much more even keel, and they have just all around like really good players, like really good D, and like even their fourth line's not great, but they're like one, two, three lines are really, really solid and not liabilities. But like with Tampa, you got like Kucherov, Hagel, Point, Gensel, like Victor Hedman, like Anthony Cirelli, Nick Paul, like all those guys, like
Mhm.
20 goal scorers right there, aside from Hedman, but he's a defenseman. Still got like 66 points on the season, which is really good for a defenseman. So they've got like those guys, and like if they show up, then I think it's pretty obvious that Tampa will win. But the chances that all of those players do show up and have a good series are it's hard to say compared to Florida, who they also have just playoff teams. Like they just have a playoff team. Like, and Chuck's gonna be back. Sam Bennett's an obvious like candidate. He was great in the
Right.
playoffs, just a dirty, dirty player. Carter Verhaeghe, like Chuck, Barkov, Reinhardt, all these guys are really, really good. So I don't know, man. And they've got two, and then um the Panthers also have two really, really good goalies too, in Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight. So they could go either way, kind of.
Spencer Knight's not on Tampa, Florida anymore. He's on
Oh, he got
Chicago.
traded.
Yeah, he's on Chicago now.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, but I don't think Florida's gonna have their backup playing. I think Bobrovsky's playing every game, but
Yeah,
Bobrovsky is obviously top five goalie in the league, no doubt. So I don't know. It could go either way. It's very similar to the Dallas Colorado series. It'll be
yeah,
exciting because that last game they played a couple days ago was feisty. So they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready to play each other.
yeah.
And hopefully, if the Leafs, we'll talk about the Leafs series obviously, but if the Leafs do make it out of the first round, I hope one team just beats the fuck out of each other. One team beats the fuck out of the other, and then whoever wins, has some injuries or, it goes long, and then, the Leafs don't have to worry about, a team being fully healthy and shit. So hopefully that helps them out. But so who are you picking? Who are you picking for that
I'm going
series?
Florida. Florida 4-3.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then we saved the best for last. Leafs Senators Battle of Ontario. First time in 20 years since they're playing each other was probably the biggest rivalry the Leafs have had in the playoffs for a long time. Um, the Leafs have not lost to Ottawa ever in the playoffs. It was 4 straight years they beat them. I think. Oh, I say this every year, man. Like I say this every fucking year. Um, Yeah, fuck it. Why not? I'll pick the Leafs. I've, I'm not as confident as I was last year. Like I was very confident that the Leafs would beat Boston. But I still think this will go seven. But I think, Berube is going to be different than Keefe or Babcock or whatever they had before within the Matthews era and Marner era. I think Berube is going to have them dialed. It's going to be a very different team, the way they prepare for the games. I think I think it's going to be more physical, obviously, because Battle of Ontario, it's rivalry games. It's going to be more physical. The Domi's going to definitely be a big part of the series. I think he's going to have a lot to say in terms of being physical with Kachuk and all those guys on Ottawa. But I don't know. I have less confidence in this going into this than I've had in past years, just because of what I've seen from past years of this team. So I don't know, but I still think the um, Leafs win just based off uh, matchups with guys. I think the Leafs have better goaltending. I think the Leafs have better offense, but I think Ottawa has a better defensive core based off guys who are healthy with Shabbat and Jake Sanderson and all those guys on defense. So I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see. But I think the Leafs win in six or seven. Most likely seven. It goes seven.
Yeah. I'm just looking at their all their games against Ottawa right now. So they lost to Ottawa back in
They did. The
January.
Leafs have not beaten Ottawa all year.
Lost them four to
Leafs are
two.
0-3 against Ottawa this year. So that's also something to take into account.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's it's hard to say, man, because on paper they really should. They really should beat them. They should have no problem beating them, actually. Like they have a much better record overall. I think they have a much better team overall in terms of I think yeah, I think it's hard to say. Like Yeah, like Brady Tkachuk again is a player that I just don't feel comfortable playing against in the playoffs. I just
He's playing today in the final game for Ottawa. He's playing today. He came back from injury, so
I think
that's a problem.
I feel like I'm doing something. I'm jinxing the team by saying they're gonna win this series. So
That's why I said I wasn't confident like I
I
was
am
last year.
going to. This is gonna be a reverse jinx. I'm gonna say Leafs lose, 4-3, or 3-4 to the Ottawa Senators.
So you're saying the Senators win in seven.
To reverse
Okay.
jinx, just so you know that, but I'm saying this. I'm saying
Right.
this. I've made this mistake before where I've said it many times in a row where they're going to beat this team. They're going to beat this team. They're going to beat this team. I want them to, but just for now, until they prove me wrong, I want them to prove me wrong. Leafs lose to the Sens. This could be a very controversial take. It is, but
Yeah,
history
like I'm
shows
just
it.
looking
And
at I'm looking at yeah, history shows. I'm looking at Ottawa's roster with Tim Stützle, Shane Pinto, who's had a decent year.
we have a better roster than them. We just do. We 100%.
Giroux coming back to the playoffs. Dylan Cousins, Nick Cousins. Oh my God, I hate Nick Cousins so much. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Nick Cousins is a complete dick. I hate Nick Cousins more than Sam Bennett, I think. He was on those Florida teams. Oh God. Okay. David Perron, who's very experienced. Uh, yeah. All right.
I'm scared, man. I'm scared.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'll always be scared when the Leafs play in the playoffs, no matter what, just based off history of what has happened. But let's hope you're wrong. Let's hope you're wrong. And I'm right. I'll always stick with my team, though. I'll always pick the Leafs, but I'm not as confident as I have been in past years. I'm sure Johnny, our biggest fan, will probably say, "Oh, Leafs will destroy the Sens. This is a cakewalk." It won't be. It won't be. It's a division rival in the playoffs. Nothing stuff about that.
Yeah.
But let's hope we're wrong. All right, let's move on. Now that we've discussed NHL, I want to do a quick shout out to my boy from Ireland, Rory McIlroy, for winning the Masters Grand Slam, sixth player to ever do it. Really cool stuff. Nice to
What do you
see
mean Grand
him.
Slam?
So basically, you win all four majors. You win the Masters, PGA Championship, U.S. Open, and British Open.
Oh, I see.
Um, yeah, so he's sixth player to ever do that with Tiger and Jack and Gary Player and all those guys. But it's great to see him win that. You know, he's been looking for it for 11 years. It was great to see him do that. Now he's basically accomplished everything you can in golf other than, winning a Ryder Cup in the US and, a gold medal. So it'll be nice to see him come to Osprey Valley where I work. Play in the Canadian Open this year in June, which will be very exciting. I'm happy to watch him play. Um, Maybe potentially bring the green jacket and I'll wear the green jacket, which will be cool. I won't wear the green jacket, but just a quick shout out to him for winning that. Was really cool to see because I love Rory so much because he's a big, he's Irish and he's a good advocate for the game of golf. So nice to see that. So let's move on. Now let's move on to our top five. This week we are doing something different. We have kind of switched our format of top five. Instead of just us picking our own, we are doing a draft format. Um, Kind of a different way of picking. So we each have different lists and we don't pick the same stuff. Um, kind of switch it up a bit. See what our fans on social media think about that. So this week, we are gonna continue with our dessert theme from 2 weeks ago, and we are gonna pick top five ice cream flavors. Could be anything, any different brand. It could be specific as you want. From different brands. But Ryan won last week, so we're determining who's gonna go first in the draft. We're just gonna go one, two. It's not gonna be snake or anything. It's just back and forth. We're gonna determine who goes first by whoever wins the voting on Instagram.
Oh,
So
I won last week.
Ryan won last week with the Masters dinner. So he will go first. So Ryan, you
So
take it
you
away
can't,
with your
if
first
I
pick.
pick one that you have on your list, you can't.
I can't pick it. So if you pick it, it's gone for the other person.
Okay. Well, I
So
definitely
you
will. Yeah, you definitely won't have my number one. I can say that.
Okay, so Ryan's gonna start off with his first pick of the ice cream flavor draft. We're gonna try and figure out a cool name for it, themed
Um,
with our
at number one,
podcast. But
I've got the Kawartha Dairy favorite, seasonal favorite is candy cane ice cream. It is one of my favorite.
interesting.
It is
Okay.
so goddamn good. It's like a mint chip, but it's got candy canes in it, and then like chocolate chips as well. Um, it is great for the Christmas season, and then also is great as a milkshake. I used to get that. I had a Kawartha Dairy across the street from my high school, so I used to go there all the time and get that. Um, candy
That's so
cane.
cool, man. You got a Kawartha across the street from
Yeah.
your high school. That's cool.
So that'll be
Um,
my first pick of the draft.
okay. Okay. Definitely a niche pick. Not what I was expecting. I thought you'd go with something uh more basic. I'm not saying, candy cane is bad. I've never had it, so I would like to try that.
You would
It
like it
sounds
if
up
you because I know
sounds
you
up my
like
alley.
I know you like mint chips. So
Yeah, it sounds up my alley. And that is what my first pick is. I am picking mint chip ice cream, which was on my top five a couple of weeks ago. Nothing better than that, in my opinion. Love mint, love mint chocolate. Yeah, mint chip, undoubtedly my favorite. That will be my number one.
all right, my number two overall pick. Uh, just like Alex Bregman, the number two overall pick of the draft. Fun fact. It'll go for cookie dough.
Yeah, good pick. Yeah, chocolate chip cookie dough. Good pick. I think everyone likes that. I don't think anyone if you eat ice cream, I don't think anyone likes chocolate chip cookie dough. I'm gonna go basic here, but at number two, I got vanilla. I think it goes with everything. You
Yeah,
put it on your it goes with, if you're having like you mentioned with the brownie, you have it a la mode, you put the vanilla ice cream on. Even if it's just plain, it's very good. So I'm gonna go with that at number two.
fair enough. Number three, my third overall pick, Moose Tracks.
Oh my God. It's fucking still mine. Good pick. Good pick. Yeah, you're going Kawartha heavy here.
Dude, it's the best ice cream.
Moose.
It's like
Yeah,
literally the
Moose.
best ice cream ever. It is so good.
Then
It
why was
just
it not your number one?
no. I'm saying Kawartha Dairy is the best ice cream.
Oh, yes,
Like
for
it's
sure.
like
Yeah. 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 Moose Tracks is fantastic.
Moose Tracks is incredible.
Um,
It's always been great. Old reliable. Just if you're ever out and you're like, what should I get? Moose Tracks, you do.
yeah, Moose Tracks. Yeah. I think that would be my sister's favorite too. She really likes Moose Tracks.
Yeah, that are like a little
Um,
like
I think, number three. Ooh, three. I'm having a tough time with this. You took Moose Tracks, man. That was a really good pick. Um,
you're on the clock.
I'm gonna go Kawartha as well. Um, I'm gonna go with Black Raspberry Thunder. I really
That's a
like
good pick.
that. I really like that flavor a lot. Um, really like that flavor from Kawartha. They really don't make any bad flavors. Um,
No,
but I will go Black Raspberry Thunder at three.
sounds good.
Yeah.
And at number four, another classic that very pairs well with a milkshake, like goes well as a milkshake flavor is salty caramel truffle. One of my
Okay.
favorites. It is so good. The little like chocolate truffles they got in there. Ah, it is delicious. It is my favorite at number four. Yeah.
Yeah. Good pick. Oh shoot, I told you I should have put this on my three, but you didn't pick it. Or actually number two. Really like this flavor, cookies and cream. Uh,
Okay.
one of my favorites.
All right.
The Oreos, the Oreo bites inside. Really like that. So I'm gonna put that at number four.
All right. At number five, then you took my cookies and cream, so I can't do that one then. Um, what was I thinking? I guess I could go lemon lime raspberry sherbet. Is a classic. That's one of my
Sherbet though, we're doing sherbet. Is sherbet similar? Can we count sherbet as ice cream though?
yes, because it's the Kawartha one. It's like the Kawartha. Like look it up and you'll see it's called a sherbet, but it's ice cream.
So what was the flavor again called?
It's called lemon lime raspberry. It's one of
Lime raspberry. Okay. Okay, I'll allow it. Yeah, that's ice cream. Okay.
yeah. Like
Okay.
it says, I guess it's yeah. You could,
Okay.
but
So that's
it's
your
always one of my favorite flavors. It's a classic fruity one. I'm not usually like the fruity flavors, but I was always a big fan of this one
shout out to
as
our
a
boy Will who loves his fruity drinks
yeah
at Wendy's.
yeah.
Um uh
But I was just gonna say
okay.
the other thing I was gonna mention is yeah, that one is always it was a classic household favorite for at my grandparents' house. They always had that. That was always like our dessert that we had
Mhm.
was the raspberry lemon lime sherbet from Kawartha Dairy. But yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of stuck here for five. Are we doing honorable mention or do you just want to stick to five?
I had an honorable mention, but
Okay, okay.
hmm,
Um, okay. I will go with Rocky Road at five.
okay. Why?
Chocolate, chocolate marshmallows. Can't go wrong with that.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Mine. Uh, um, okay, because you stole a couple, so I'm trying to figure this out right now. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at my
That's the thing with
um
the draft. You
you know
got to you
what?
got to
Okay, no, I got it. Pumpkin pie. Boom. One of the best ice cream flavors
pumpkin
ever.
pie ice cream.
Yeah, it's a Fourth of Dairy seasonal for Thanksgiving. It's incredible.
This guy's picking out uh secret menu items from Kawartha.
I love Kawartha. Like I love ice cream so fucking much, man. I love it. Like it is there's something about ice cream that is just ah like in the Kawartha ones, it's nostalgic too. It's just I love it. You can't go wrong with ice cream, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Okay. Honorable mention, I will go with chocolate. I'm going chocolate heavy, but I think uh I'm kind of going favorable for, the basics, but I think vanilla chocolate you have to have on your list.
fair enough. It's a good list.
So just to wrap up the draft, you have candy cane, cookie dough, moose track, salted caramel truffle, raspberry lemon lime sherbet, and pumpkin pie. I have mint chip, vanilla, raspberry, cookies and cream, Rocky Road, and chocolate. Some good lists. Some good lists. I think you got like the more niche, like
You might win this
mixes and
one.
stuff. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um,
I've been
but I think
winning.
that pumpkin pie one's interesting. I haven't never had pumpkin pie ice cream before.
Dude, you'd love it. It's really, really good.
But the thing is though, like these ones do not go in the grocery stores. Like I'd have to go to
Kawartha.
yeah, to actual Kawartha and get it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Where did I get the no, Costco sells them. Costco sells all the Kawartha stuff. I remember I got a pumpkin
Oh
pie.
yeah? Okay. Okay, well maybe go to Kawartha during uh Thanksgiving season.
I have to. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I think that ends it off for today's episode. Go Blue Jays, go Leafs, go Bills, even. We can always love our Bills.
Yep, always a go
But
Bills.
especially Leafs this weekend. We got playoff hockey, which is fucking awesome, man. I can't wait. We are still a lucky team that we get to watch playoff hockey. Imagine being fans of fucking Anaheim Ducks, bro. Like,
Oh God.
shoot me.
My buddy's a fan of the Anaheim Ducks, and I do not know how he does it.
He's that probably doesn't
What
even
was I
like
gonna?
hockey. He's like as casual as the team is itself, at that
No,
point.
he does watch. He plays hockey.
It's
He
like
plays
I've
hockey.
I've never
He
met a
knows.
diehard Angels fan. I've never met a diehard Ducks fan. It's like you never it's just that's the way it goes. You just have your casual fans. Anyway, let's move on. Let's end it off. Remember to like, subscribe on the TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify. We're on all those platforms. Thank you guys so much for listening. Cheers, and we will see you next week.